Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Decentralized Chain. It's Feroz bringing you all things blockchain. So in today's episode, we are going to be talking to Jae Chung. He's one of the co-founders behind CryptoLocally. Now, if you don't know what CryptoLocally is, it's a peer-to-peer trading platform aimed at providing easy access for everyone to bring fiat into crypto. We talk about life before crypto. We talk about Jae's time across multiple continents, and also our shared frustration and our experiences on how difficult it was for us early on to bring fiat into crypto without losing value. And if you like the sound of that, then obviously don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and tick that bell notification icon so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Now, in addition, we are going to be doing yet another giveaway. There's $100 worth of give tokens up for grabs, so stay tuned throughout the video to understand how you can enter that competition and grab yourself some free crypto. Now, let's jump into the interview and catch up with Jae. Jae Chung, thank you for coming on the show. Appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to really talk about CryptoLocally. But man, before we jump straight into it, I mean, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I mean, what do you do outside of crypto anyway? Where did you grow up? Where were you born? Where are you based?
So I was born in Korea, and then I grew up in Hong Kong for most of my life.
Okay.
And then I went to Wharton, University of Pennsylvania. So like nowadays, I split my time between Philly, Korea, and Hong Kong. Our company has offices in Korea and Hong Kong. So I normally just travel around there, but COVID has made it hard to travel.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah. And I started coding when I was 13.
Okay.
So I started working at a couple tech startups when I was in high school, and then continued. And I like cooking, producing beats, like making music and stuff, and playing basketball for fun.
So a pretty active lifestyle if you're and across like multiple continents as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, and along the way, CryptoLocally, or you found CryptoLocally found you, and it was born. I mean, why are you building this? Why have you built this platform? Because it's actually already existing, right? In terms of.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing was I started in EOS. And when I first got into crypto, like I had no idea how to buy it.
Yeah.
And like along the way, Hugo and I, our co-founder, we were trying to trade cryptos, and we always noticed the difficulty to come in and out of crypto using fiat. So like when I was a noob, I was like, okay, I want to come in using Hong Kong dollars where I was based. And it was not super easy to do that.
It's true. It's interesting you say that, because I sort of came to crypto around 2016, and you're right. It wasn't straightforward in order to ramp into crypto. I remember that. I remember when I wanted to sort of buy my first few bits of Bitcoin or whatever it was, and I remember that the journey that I went through. I mean, in the end, I ended up going through Kraken to kind of ramp in through a European exchange, But at the time, I remember that I had to transfer my British pounds into euros. So I had to go and get a SEPA account and then do a SEPA transfer into Kraken. And then by that time, then I ended up buying my first bit of Bitcoin, and then eventually, made my way through. But it's definitely improved over the years, but that is a sticking point.
Yeah, I mean, still, I think like either you find the centralized exchange that does OTC for you, you do KYC, and then get Bitcoin. But if you wanted another crypto, right? Like it's so difficult still. Like you need to do Bitcoin, and then you got to change on an exchange for that crypto. Or if that exchange doesn't have it, then you have to withdraw and then go to a DEX. Like it's not as easy to get to altcoins, right?
And it's costly,
stable
though.
coins.
It's costly at that point, because it's not as straightforward as like you go to a forex desk and you change over British pounds for Hong Kong dollars, for example. Yeah, there's a bit of commission you pay along the way, but you're right, here there's so many middlemen that take a slice of that pie as they come along. And then by the time you go onto a DEX, certainly with the DEX fees over the last few weeks, I mean they've been absolutely through the roof, even just trying to change back and forth between a base pair, right?
Exactly. So basically, like we really built CryptoLocally out of necessity. Like we wanted a quick way to get in and out of any crypto, not just Bitcoin. And we wanted to minimize the risk of losing value along the way across all these transactions. And also, like, throughout the whole time, we wanted to keep ownership of our assets, like not depositing and withdrawing in all these platforms, and like going through a lot of KYC just for everything we used, you know. And like this is also a pain point for a lot of users in emerging economies. Like some platforms just outright don't accept them, even if they want to like do KYC, or they don't actually have documents that are valid that can get them the account and start trading on these platforms. So we just wanted to really open up accessibility for everyone. Yeah.
So I mean, how does it work in practice? I mean, you know, from a simpleton's perspective, I mean, what do they do? How do they do it?
Yeah, so all you have to do is sign up using the email address, and then you select whatever you want to buy or sell. And you can find an offer easily in your local currency. So we support any currency across the world. And then you just have to enter your wallet address to start the trade if you're trying to buy, and then you basically agree on a payment method with the seller. Then the seller funds the smart contract, which is the escrow that holds the crypto throughout the trade. And then the buyer sends the payment to the seller directly. So this could be like WeChat Pay, PayPal, Chipper Cash if you're in Africa. Like all these different types of payment methods are available. And then once the seller confirms that he got the payment, he just simply authorizes the escrow to release, and the buyer receives the crypto in his personal or exchange wallet. And the finance wallet, which we just released, it's the part that allows users to earn interest on their crypto. It's even easier. All you have to do is buy crypto on CryptoLocally or deposit crypto into the wallet, and then you just click on a button to toggle on interest, and then you're done.
That's it.
Yeah.
So it sounds simple enough. I mean, and simplicity to a certain way, I think, leads to adoption. You know, making something fast and easy and quick to do. So who is this actually aimed at then? I mean, you know, is it more your everyday person that wants to get into crypto? Is it, you know, because I can see it working for me, it feels more like it's aimed at your everyday person that wants to get into crypto. Someone, you know, that wants to easily get in or even get out, right? But who is your target market?
Yeah, so we do say like it's available for everyone really, and we're opening accessibility to just a wide audience. But I guess one of the like largest user bases for us comes from Nigeria, Philippines, India, and Indonesia. Because as I mentioned earlier, CryptoLocally actually like solves one of the biggest issues for them and makes access to crypto especially easier for them. We do also have a lot of crypto newbies coming in and trying to purchase crypto for the first time, just because like it's more of you can do everything in one place and faster than like waiting for verification and then you know, trying to figure out all these other exchanges. You can do it in one step here. And basically our goal now is also to just make crypto and DeFi accessible to people based everywhere, without any country restriction and payment method limits. So yeah, the gist is that like we really want to just make it possible for anyone to access crypto. But one of the people that really love our product are people based in emerging economies, basically.
It's more like you're unbanked, so to speak, to a certain extent, right? And you know, I suppose the other bit that kind of gets to me is that, I mean, you're not really the first to tackle this in this space. There have been others before you, local Bitcoin, local crypto. So, you know, once again, it goes back to you're looking for market share as well at the same time, right? And, you know, so how are you planning to kind of convert some of those legacy users over, you know, who are already used to using local Bitcoin, local crypto? I mean, what's going to be your edge, I suppose, more than anything else, to say, hey, you know what, I think I might just switch over beyond just merging markets, right?
Yeah. So that's a great question, and it's something that we've had to think about a lot. if you look at like local Bitcoins, it looks like a 1990s-esque
It
website
does.
still.
It does. It does.
Yeah. But like their volume is still like 40 million a week,
Yeah.
trades over 200 countries. Like it's like we felt like it was time to sort of build a product that revolutionizes this market, a more modernized product.
Hmm.
Um, so basically, I guess the biggest difference with us is a couple things. One, it's non-custodial smart contract escrows. So I guess local Bitcoins, local cryptos, these guys ask users to deposit their crypto onto the platform.
Okay.
And so in that sense, it's not too different from centralized exchanges because they
Hmm.
take custody of your funds.
Yeah.
Not just during the trade, like not it's you have to deposit in first and then you
It's
start
gone.
with
It's not with you at that point. It's in somebody else's
yeah,
pocket, hoping that they don't spend
exactly.
it, basically.
Exactly. And what we do is we've basically built out our own smart contract
Hmm.
escrows where we don't actually hold the crypto. We can't really take it away from anyone. And in essence, it's not custodial, so we don't have the same sort of verification obligations as those other platforms.
Hmm.
On the other hand, so you could call us more decentralized, basically. And what we're trying to do is, in the next couple features that we're going to release with related to the Give token, we're going to allow our users to basically govern and manage the platform with
Okay.
us. So we're trying to make it a community platform built and used for the community,
Hmm.
where they can make decisions like what tokens they're going to list or what, for example, the staking rewards are going to be, and so on in the future. So we're trying to move a lot of these decisions to the users because they're the ones that sort of always tell us what they want anyway.
Yep.
We always get feedback from them. So like it's the whole governance part is going to change, which a lot of these other platforms can't do. Finally, like we offer alts as a trading pair. So
Okay.
I think like the best way to get into crypto without really risking loss of value is stablecoins, actually.
Hmm.
Like right now, one of the biggest uses is you can get a stablecoin like USDT and start earning a lot of interest on it
Yeah.
compared to keeping USD cash in your bank account, right?
Mm.
Where interest rates are basically 0% in the US, for example. And but for some reason, like stable coins, you can't actually trade on local Bitcoins. You can't do that on local cryptos. They have very limited trading pairs. Local Bitcoins is just Bitcoin, for example.
Hmm.
Um, so, and finally, like with our recent launch of the finance wallet, we're basically plugging into DeFi. You can earn interest on your tokens. So we give users a thing to do with their tokens right after buying it. They don't have to take it anywhere. They can start earning more of that token, more rewards, and so on.
Which is a good thing. It's sometimes it can be seen as a safer option, right? Because
Hmm.
there are those who want to trade and those because for me, I suppose the crypto I've accumulated over the last few years is pretty much there. I'll trade with some of it, and I'm not a huge trader, but I'll do my safe trades on support and resistances, and I have some in USD as well. But then there's always that thought in the back of my mind. Oh, you know what? How about I bring in some fresh fiat into my stack? Because I haven't brought any fiat into crypto for the better part of like 3 years now. I'm literally still rolling with what I've had from the beginning and just
Hmm.
growing it slowly. But a
Yeah.
part of me does think, oh, you know what? With all these high yields and APYs that you're getting, certainly from stable coins, in fact, if it's quite
Hmm.
straightforward for me to jump in with like whatever it may well be, $1,000, $2,000, whatever, right, and
Hmm.
jump in and then be able to earn some of that high yield and then jump back out again while still
Yeah.
growing my fiat. That's pretty appealing.
Hmm.
Certainly for me, anyway. So I see it from that way. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, let's and I know you touched on Hugo earlier. I mean, let's talk a bit about your team, your partners, your goals, just to kind of understand a bit more about you know who are crypto locally, right? I mean,
Hmm.
how did you get into this space? I mean, what were you doing before that kind of made you think, oh, you know what, I want to kind of move into this?
Yeah. So basically, I met Hugo at a company called Jobable in Hong Kong,
Mm-hmm.
where we were both working at, and we got to work on a blockchain project together. And that's when I sort of like got into blockchain early. I started researching it, and I was really impressed by both the tech and the community behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started contributing to the EOS community as a developer, and Hugo started building this block explorer called blocks.io, which a
Yeah.
lot of my people may know. It's
Mm-hmm.
the most used block explorer for EOS.io
EOS.
chains.
Yeah.
Yeah. And basically, so we started HK EOS together, which is one of the top block producers in EOS and a bunch of other EOS.io chains. And we still have that running. And yeah, back then, so Hugo and I started having a presence in the community. I remember I did a bunch of things like writing open source scripts to like start and peer nodes and then launch a whole network.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually helped launch the EOS mainnet along with a few other devs in the community. And like I found a vulnerability in EOS.io that qualified for the bug bounty and so on. Like it was a lot of stuff going on during that time in the space, and it was super fun. Um, so yeah, like Hugo and I have been sort of really focused in EOS, at least in the start of our like blockchain journey.
Yeah.
And then once we started building on CryptoLocally is when we started, I guess, diversifying into all these other protocols. So we started with EOS on CryptoLocally as EOS locally, and then we added a bunch of other coins, and then we decided, oh, Binance Chain wants us to add like BEP2 tokens. So we started doing that. And then we started building in Ethereum and Tron, and that's now we're at DeFi.
Got it. No, it makes sense. So
Yeah.
I mean, looking beyond the team, when I was looking on the website, you know, there were quite a few partners listed. You know, some notable names: Binance, Tron, whether you love them or hate them, but nonetheless they're still big. I mean, what I always wonder, what do these actual partnerships mean for you exactly? I mean, what do they do? What do they provide?
Yeah, so we're actually part of the Binance Fellowship Program,
Okay.
and so we got that over a year ago and started sort of getting advisory from them. We also have multiple ex-Binance advisors, so guys that used to work at Binance that are part of the team now, and some of them have invested. And Binance and Tron mainly help us with PR and marketing when we listed their tokens on a platform. And we're also working closely together to see how we can integrate them in our new DeFi features. So, for example, like Tron's building out their own sort of DeFi landscape, same as Binance with Binance Smart Chain. So we're trying to see how we can plug in there because on a roadmap, basically, I've written out how we're building out CryptoLocally Vault. So the current finance wallet is just a version 1. It's super slim and simple, and we intend to keep it simple. But in the background, we're going to make it more intricate, and we're basically going to build out smart contracts that act as like robo investment, sort of like Yearn, but cross-chain.
Yep.
And we're going to do that on Tron. We're going to do that on EOS.io, and basically have these vault pools that earn maximum yield for the users.
Oh wow! So and I suppose talking about roadmaps, I suppose one of the first stops on your roadmap is your private public sale. That's obviously coming along, and I mean talking about the sale. I mean let's talk a bit about this actually because. You know, I suppose one thing viewers are always keen to understand is, you know, when pre-sale, when moon, etc., etc. But and obviously there are things that you can and can't share. But seeming as you already have a functioning platform already, why are you raising still, or why are you raising? I suppose should I say?
So I guess the biggest thing is that like Hugo and I, we really bootstrapped the business from scratch, and like we feel like right now is the time where we need to raise more in order to scale up. For example, since we started, we've been getting like 50% increase in number of users and trading volume per month. So it's been going up really quickly, but like we can't really meet the demand of all the new features that are being suggested and the customer support we have to do and just community management. Like there's a lot on the plate for such a small team. So we really need to start scaling up. And for example, we need more engineers to meet the suggestions from the community while staying on top of our roadmap. We need to plan to use a lot of what we raise in marketing and building awareness around CryptoLocally, which benefits everyone in our community, really, just getting bigger and bigger. And basically, I guess the biggest thought process behind this is to scale it up and grow CryptoLocally quickly as quickly as possible. Yeah.
So, I mean, and I suppose further to that point, which makes sense in terms of why you're looking to raise. Now, once you've done the raise, I'm always eager to find out how you maintain that sort of fiscal stimulus that you've already had, because you're not going to then go and do another raise later on. It's but how do you then move forward as an organization post the raise?
Yeah, I think what we're going to do is we have no idea the exact amount we're going to end up raising, so we can't really predict what our new runway is going to be and exactly like what we can do yet. But we do have a roadmap that we've already published and things that we really feel like we're going to get done. And these things are basically governance. So building out governance for token holders, and they get to govern a lot of the stuff on the platform. We plan to build out CryptoLocally vaults, as I mentioned, so smart contract vault pools across all these chains. And we're basically going to build out more DeFi tools. So we want this DeFi sort of side on CryptoLocally to really be the main like fiat access, fiat gateway to DeFi.
Okay.
And we basically don't only want to have earning interest through lending. We want to let people borrow. We want to let people invest into, oil futures, for example, and all of this stuff. And in the future, we also are, we're pretty plugged in the NFT space with Wax. And we think that we can build out some neat features on the NFT side, because we could actually build a fiat gateway to NFT as well, P2P and so on.
Interesting. So, I mean, and I suppose the other bit that we touched on is obviously, with the raise then has a token, and the token can have multiple uses, so to speak. I mean, and one use is people who like to flip and play the market, and obviously bagging those gains in the hopes that they get to own that Lamborghini one day. And then you've got others who are obviously in it for the tech. But what's the actual utility of the token? I mean, what do I get out of actually buying and holding it beyond just a value appreciation?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things being built on top of Give. And so for one thing, you can, on our platform already, use Give to buy boosts or discount coupons. And you can use, so right now it acts as sort of a discount token already. And like, as I said, in the future with governance, token holders will have the power to vote for rewards, burns, and listings on the platform through governance. So for now, what you could do is also hold Give to increase your voting rights in the future, because we're providing APR for Give, interest on Give. Okay. And you can also earn more bonuses right now by basically trading on the platform. Trading will give you the most Give in bonuses. And there will be greater rewards for liquidity providers in the future. So we're going to have Give pools on DEX pools, for example, on Ethereum, and those who provide liquidity there and stake will be able to earn a lot more interest in Give.
Got it. So it seems very community focused in terms of going forward with the platform. So and talking about community, the importance of community, and obviously it sounds like you guys are taking in a lot of feedback from the community in order to improve your platform. So I mean, what does the actual community mean for you? Because ultimately, communities, as far as I can see, are either going to make a project or break it, ultimately one way or the other. So, I suppose I'm more interested in how you keep that community engagement, and I suppose love, if that's a word to choose at this point, for the platform, for the
Yeah, I
project.
think one of the reasons I fell in love with blockchain and the industry was actually because of the active community in the space. I felt like I was part of a team and a greater movement altogether when working as just an EOS community engineer. For example, like I was building out open source software, like a whole testing suite for EOS.io, like just in my free time because I felt like it was going to be benefiting the team, the whole community,
Yeah.
And Block One then saw it and they were like, cool, and then integrated into their code base. And it's just like, wow, like a lot of people were just making these types of contributions just because they wanted to build this thing together. And I really want the CryptoLocally community to have a similar sentiment. I really want to build that sentiment out here as well. And that's why like we're trying to make all these decisions very community focused. We want everyone to have a voice that can influence the platform. And the community has already been quite active for CryptoLocally in terms of suggesting great ideas and testing things for us. And we would love to get to the point where the community actually manages and governs the platform through governance sooner than later.
Okay, wow. It's interesting to see, like, you have your communities back, and pretty much it sounds like they're the backbone, pretty much, or will be the backbone at some point in the future, which is good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, thanks so much, Jay, for taking us through the platform. To be honest, really, really interesting to kind of hear it all. And I think this must have been one of the most chilled out interviews that I've had in a long time. So, I mean, if people want to stay up to date, where do we go? What should we watch out for? I mean, what's exciting that's coming up next, I suppose, in the near future?
Yeah, I would say, look out for a roadmap, the stuff that we're going to release. And most importantly, our public sale is going to come very, very soon, and we'll make announcements around it. So probably plugging into our Telegram group and Twitter for announcements and updates would be the best way to figure out how to join the community, really.
All right, cheers, Jay. We'll definitely stay tuned. Well, look, man, thanks a lot for your time today. Really appreciate you taking time out, really, more than anything else. I'm sure the viewers would as well. So, look, let's catch up post your launch and see how you guys are getting on.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
So I hope you enjoyed the interview with Jae Chung. CryptoLocally seems like a formidable platform, really, in terms to give the competitors that we have today a run for their money. I would say that what CryptoLocally has done has pretty much adjusted with the times and kind of worked with that in order to make it easier and ultimately plug some of those pain points that we still experience today. Now, if you're stuck around this long, then clearly you're interested in how you can grab yourself $100 worth of crypto. Really straightforward. First of all, don't forget to like this video. Secondly, don't forget to leave a comment below. What did you think about the actual project? Do you think it has legs? How do you think it compares to the actual competition? And lastly, don't forget to leave your Twitter handle in the comments below. I will draw a random winner in roughly a week's time. So make sure you follow my Twitter so you can see when that's announced, and I will launch a video so you can see that the picking is all fair. And then there'll be a couple of winners who will be able to take part in that pool. See you on the next one.